What is going on, everybody? It's Wednesday night. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do the midweek update, starting with sealed product and going into singles and slabs under $1,000. Starting off with a couple booster boxes. EBO2, $251 for a booster box. This is the highest sale I've seen so far on one of these. There were multiple sales in Europe too, still in like the 180, 190 range. But you are starting to see a lot of sales push into the 220, 230, even up to $250 range. We also have a Paramount War box that sold for $260. These are starting to creep up to getting closer and closer to $300 every day. OPO 5 booster box, $375. I actually saw a sale up to, I believe, $415 USD for a loose box of OPO 5 this week. $375 is basically the low at this point. You might see the odd sale in the 360s, but we are pushing towards $400 consistently now on OPO 5. And again, makes sense if you watched yesterday's video. You saw the value in the top 10 cards of that set. It's very strong. It's comparable to basically any other set released so far. After that, PRBO 1, we had a booster box sell, $490. I think on TCG Player, this is still in like the $450 range. Hasn't been doing too much as of late, but on eBay, you are starting to see sales get fairly close to $500, I'd say, on a consistent basis. And then what would be a midweek update without a Romance Dawn white bottom booster box? These are now selling fairly consistently at $800 too, so getting closer to $1,000 there. Now, we'll move into the singles and slabs going in ascending order. Starting from the lowest, we have Magellan. This is an alt art leader from Paramount War, $107.50 there in a PSA 10 Magellan. Not a super popular character from the anime. Makes sense why these alt leaders aren't crazy expensive, even in graded copies. After that, we have a Jewelry Bonnie. This is from OPO 7, I believe. This is an alternate art, and this went for $107.50. After that, we have a Silver's Rayleigh from OP11. Fun fact, I actually pulled this card yesterday. If you guys know, I opened a PRBO 2 box as a way to try and prove that opening product, not a good way of making money. That didn't really go over well because we pulled a manga event rare. So yesterday, I opened a box of OP11 to prove the same thing, and I actually pulled this card. I do understand where some people are coming from when they talk about texture on the One Piece cards and a lot of these SPs. I get it. Some people like it. I still think that these SPs are incredibly boring, right? Like they just throw a character in the middle. It's not that interesting of an illustration, let's be real. But I can understand why people like them. Either way, this card is fairly cheap in a raw copy. I think it's only like 35 bucks. And in a PSA 10, it just went for $121 coming directly from the vault. Now after that, we have a Jewelry Bonnie. This is from OPO 8, I think? I could be wrong about that, actually. I can't remember exactly which one this is from. Either way, $123.50 here raw. I'm pretty sure this is the OA version. I could be entirely off base though, so if I am, let me know in the comments down below. After that, we have the Boa Hancock. This is the PSA Magazine exclusive, PSA 10, $135. This has been in this range for a fairly long period of time now. A lot of these PSA Magazine promos, they're not really doing anything crazy. A lot of them do sell, but we aren't seeing any sort of significant growth on them currently. And after that, we have a Monkey D Dragon special rare. This went for $140.50 raw. A lot of these special rares you'll see are getting up there in price. Some of them aren't at all-time highs, but still some very impressive sales coming up later in this video. Then we have a Monkey D Luffy alt art leader. I believe this is from Romance Dawn. $152.50. And actually taking a second look at this, I don't believe this is the alt version. This is just the regular version, which I'm pretty sure is like a $1 card in Romance Dawn or something. I don't think it's super expensive. So unless I'm missing something, I don't know why this is going for $153 in a PSA 10. But either way, there you go. That is a confirmed sale. After that, we have a Charlotte Pudding SP. This is from Two Legends, $152.50 here in a BGS 10 non-black label. You're going to see a lot of BGS coming up later in the video. Then we have a PSA 10. This is the Monkey D. Luffy from the Premium Card Collection, the 25th edition. I've had a couple people in the comments saying to look at these, and yeah, I mean, I'm aware that they're moving up in price. I don't think that they're crazy good investments at these current prices, but I mean, if you bought them maybe 3-4 months ago, including the sealed product, you're absolutely laughing at this point. After that, we have a Bond Clay. This is from EBO 1, the alt art Nami version, $170 in a PSA 10. Then we also have Rebecca from Wings of the Captain. This SP went for $181.50 in a PSA 10. These are staying in that range. I think it's a fairly cool artwork though for Rebecca, but just not a lot of growth there. Then we have a Sanji SP. This is from Royal Blood, I believe. This went for $191.50 in a BGS 10 non-black label. We also have the Lucky Roo. This is a PSA 10 treasure rare from OP11, $217.50. We also have the Zoro Juro from, I believe this is '09. This raw is going for like $230. Now this specific one, $227.50. So this is a card that's actually come up a lot over the past 6 months and just added a little bit more depth to OP09. And again, it's another cool Zoro artwork. Then we have a wanted poster of Luffy. I believe these are from Pillars of Strength. BGS 9.5. This went for €201 through slap auction out of Europe. And that's approximately $231 USD. Then we have the Tony Chopper. This is from the Gift Collection 2023. PSA 10, $280. This card raw has been on an absolute run over the past month or so, and the PSA 10 is now following. And if there was going to be a time that people tried to buy this out and move the price up on it, kind of makes sense doing it in Q4. We're getting close to Christmas time. After that, we also have a Stussy SP. This is from OP11, $283 in a PSA 10. I think raw this card is like $120 currently, so not terrible for a PSA 10 premium on a cheaper SP, especially of a character that's not as popular as some of the top ones like Nami, Boa Hancock, any of the other Straw Hats, etc. Speaking of Straw Hats, we have a Zoro. This is from Romance Dawn, alt leader, BGS 9.5, $300 there. And that is the errata version, right? I don't think it's pre-errata. Then after that, we have the Nami. This is from the 2023 CS Celebration Pack PSA 10, $305. I did see one of these sell for, I think, $255 as well. So this is definitely the higher sale that I saw over the past week. After that, we have the Shonen Jump Luffy magazine promo, BGS 9.5, $305. If you guys remember, we had like a black label show up, and I can't remember the ridiculous price went for like $12,000 or something. Somebody said that it got relisted though, so I imagine it didn't go through. Either way, this is still fairly expensive for a magazine promo. And I think these just got reprinted, right, or restocked. So I think that the price on these is probably going to continue coming down. Then we have the Nico Robin from the English First Anniversary Set PSA 10, $306. You're also going to see the Luffy showing up here in a moment. We have Nami from Romance Dawn, BGS 9.5, $345 there. After that, we have the Gear 2 alt art from OP11, $350. A lot of these were selling too this week. I saw $350, $345, I think as low as like $305 as well, but all the sales I saw were over $300 for a PSA 10. I think there's a BGS 10 of this coming up later in the video, and you're going to see the price difference between a lot of these PSA 10 prices and the BGS 10 prices. Now they're kind of expanding on some of these alternate arts and special rare cards. But before we get to that, I think we're going to look at the coolest card in my opinion this week, which is this very old school buggy card. This is from 1999, I believe, according to the label and also the card down here, 1999 buggy. This went for €306, $351 USD approximately. I have no idea where these cards came from. So if you guys have any information on these, it looks like it's in a different language too. Is that German? I could be wrong too. I am just throwing a guess out there that that is in German, but I'm sure somebody will let me know in the comments down below. Either way, very cool card, very expensive card too for something that's vintage, not from one of these newer sets. After that, we have a Roar Noah Zoro. This is from One Piece Dallas, 2025, One Piece Day rather. PSA 10, $360 through ZNG Emporium. It does seem like ZNG Emporium doing a lot more of these sales with Probstein moving off of eBay, which I think is probably going to be a good thing overall. After that, we have another Zoro here. This is an alternate art from Romance Dawn, $375. We've seen this pop up a couple times. I think it's fairly cool looking. I think raw too, it's like $60, $70, so a pretty decent PSA 10 premium there. Then we have SP Nami from OP05, $405 in a BGS 10. After that, we do have the first anniversary English set Luffy. This one in a PSA 10, $457. So you can see, if you get a PSA 10 Luffy and Robin, you're basically paying for the sealed product already. I think that those have to get fairly close to $1,000 here shortly, just considering that a lot of those cards have very high gem rates. I know the Luffy is a little bit lower. I think it's closer to 70. As you can see here, 401 PSA 10 pop. Total pop 569, but I do still think that the sealed product is a little bit undervalued, or these are overvalued. So either way, something is going to eventually have to change. After that, we have a PSA 10 of the Boa Hancock from OP09, 419 pounds sterling, approximately $546 USD. This was coming from Turntable Trading Cards, I believe, out of the United Kingdom. After that, we have a raw Jewelry Bunny manga in English, $600 there. Pretty interesting sale. Then we have the Zorro 3-on-3 Cup Top Prize card, PSA 10, $600 through ZNG Emporium. I think the last time we saw this, it was maybe $580 or $560. Definitely a solid mid-tier promo in my opinion. After that, we do have the Ace Wanted poster from OP13 showing up. This is the error card that I think is going to be corrected in future print runs. And this went for $650, which I think is one of the higher sales. I've seen this sell as low as like $500 recently. After that, we have the silver Marshall D. Teach Blackbeard from OP12. This went $700 raw. Then we have the Gear 2, and I was talking about this. The difference between the PSA 10 and the BGS 10 on some of these is huge. So this here went for $720 in a BGS 10, whereas the PSA 10 was $305, $350. Either way, more than double what the PSA 10 was going for. And this isn't even a black label. So in a black label, I imagine this would probably be like a $3,000 card plus. And we have a few more here to close out the video. We do have the OP13 Treasure Pack promo card in English. This went for $800. This is the first one I've saw sell on eBay. And I think what it was is that there was an auction, but they also put a buy it now price and somebody just bought it for full asking of $800. So in the future, it will be interesting to see if these go higher than that. I can't imagine they go higher than that, but who knows in this market. We also have the Boa Hancock in a BGS 10. This is another example. You can see here, this went for $810. And kind of surprising because this was getting close to $1,000. So at least this week, these cards have pulled back a little bit. You're going to see a couple more examples here. The Nami from OP09, BGS 10 as well, $825. And then after that, we have the Boa Hancock from OP04, $860. These were all getting fairly close to $1,000. They pulled back about 15% from last week's highs. Again, when you only have a couple data points, it's not really the biggest deal, especially when these are coming from a smaller seller. They're not the best photos in my opinion either. So I think if these were marketed better from a more reputable person on eBay, you could probably get more out of these. After that, we have the Luffy Wanted poster from OP09, PSA 10, $910. This card raw is definitely going to be staying at $500 plus. Then we have the Trafalgar Law manga. This is from Royal Blood, BGS 10, $950. We also have the Kid manga, PSA 10 from OP05, $960. We have a raw version of the Zorro manga. This went for $990 on auction. Then the final one we're going to look at today, this is the super pre-release Luffy. This went for 870 euros, which is $999 USD approximately. I think we saw a PSA 10 last week at like $1350 or something ridiculous like that. So this is definitely cheaper. And it does seem like there still is a difference between the amount that cards are going for in the United States versus what they're going for on auction in Europe. I know some people are talking about OP13 being a little bit more expensive in Europe now, being more difficult to find. And even though the gap may be closing, it still seems like things are a little bit more expensive over here in America. And then the final thing I want to bring to your attention today, guys, is an auction for the red Luffy manga in English. It's up to $6,300 and we have about 3 hours left on this card. So by the time I upload this auction will probably be done, or maybe there's like an hour left if you want to go watch it. That is going to be it for the video today. You guys let me know in the comments down below what was your favorite auction of the video. Mine definitely has to be that vintage buggy card that I do believe is in German, but again, I'm probably going to get roasted in the comments if this isn't in German. Either way, very cool to see some of these vintage cards showing up and still retaining a little bit of value. If you guys got some value of this content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below for the algorithm. It really does help out a ton. Also, if you are shopping eBay, TCG Player, Hobbiesville, Cardboard Hero, I have affiliate links down below. They're free and easy to use. All you have to do is click on it before you do your shopping. I'll get a small percentage of the sale at no extra cost to you. So it's a free and easy way to support me continuing to make these videos for you guys. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.